You're tuned in to The Thinking Class with Lawrence D. Adams. Let's go.
To have it all together and still be a leader, a man, and a source of
the sun is shining. You're ready for the hip hop orchestra. I'm ready for this. I've never been to a hip hop orchestra. Been to the orchestra. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I had to shave on. But that's okay. I didn't want to mess up anything. All right, so we'll keep you guys posted.
So in the future, what you can expect is, of course, more podcasting. Yeah. But it's time for me to get from behind the podcasting table and to actually get out there and talk to the masses. So that is one of the visions, is to get out there, maybe in a small group, and actually pour into them and see them go from zero to hero. And so that's one of my goals, is to get out there and grab a group of people who want to hear the message in a private setting or in a large setting, and pouring them to the things that I know. So that is like right there on the list right there. Yeah, live events, because it's so needed. Like if this being a live event, pouring into people. That's where my heart is right now.
We need to get you to say this possible, brother. We need to get your ass saved. They need to stop playing. So let me ask you this.
This, I'm like, okay, you don't just approach them in the manner of what's good. It's like
To a video, that's good. That was good, good shot. I love the energy. We need that energy.
Yeah.
Keep it going. It's been a long day already. Ooh.
In order for there to be black love, I think a couple guys hit on it. It has to be first black. I love my black self. You cannot love someone else past the degree that you don't love yourself. And I think a lot of times we want love from someone else that we have not given to ourselves. And so when I began to venture out into the thing, I'm one of the OGs. I was about that life.
Did he tip his hat though too?
I was about that life. But at the end of the day, I realized, as you were saying that, I didn't love myself. So I'm Lawrence D. Adams. This is amazing to be part of this esteemed panelist. But you can find me on social media at Lawrence D. Adams on YouTube, Facebook.
It started back in 2007, and it started as just a regular podcast called Mr. L Radio Show when I was down in Atlanta.
Salute everyone. This is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combines. You have the thinking class. We are live today. We're talking about something that I'm going to talk about today. Lead yourself first, or stay led forever. Lead yourself first, or stay led forever. How long? For how long? Forever, ever. Lead yourself first, or stay led forever. You ready for this? What we're talking about today? I'm ready to go. I've been going through a whole lot of changes with the thinking class and doing some things. And I heard the brothers this week, they said, LDA, you got to set up the community. We got to do the challenge with the money challenge, and we got to do the mirror challenge. So it's going to be part of the community. If you want to be a part of it, I'm in the process. I got to build it out again. So I'm going to build it out again, get a part of the community where we have private conversations behind the velvet thinking class rope, and we talk about some things. But the first thing, the challenge. You want to be a part of that challenge. Once I present that challenge will be the money challenge, and it will be the mirror challenge. You want to be a part of that. But today we're talking about lead yourself first. Lead yourself first, or stay led forever. If you don't lead yourself first, you will be led by fear, by women, by the system, by weakness. Let me stop right there. Let me move some things around. Hold on. There we go. So I can see my notes here. My notes. There we go. If you don't lead yourself, you will be led by fear, by women, by the system, and by weakness. This podcast today is about reclaiming masculine command. How many of you are really leading yourself? Or are your emotions, your thoughts? Even this week I had to get myself together. Emotions was like, I said, pull it together and realize, who's leading you? Who has the golden nose ring in you and leading you around? Is it your emotions? Is it the trauma? Is it your doubts? Is it your fears? Is it the things that you're going through that's saying you can't do what you said you were going to do? What's leading you? Is it the ancestors leading you? Who's really leading you in the direction you need to go? If you don't know who's leading you, you being led. The lie is we've been programmed to follow. Let me tell you the number one of the first lies, or this lie. You have been programmed to follow. You have not been taught to lead. Let me say that again. You've been programmed to follow, and you have not been taught to lead. And so what happens is you have a chip inside of you that says, I must follow and I cannot lead. Think about it. School has taught you to wait for instructions. School, when you go to school, they're taught you, they informed you, you need to wait before you get instructions. School was never designed for you to lead. School was never designed for you to lead. Schooling was a programming to get you from kindergarten to the 12th grade, from the freshman to a senior in college. It was all designed for you to wait and to follow instructions. It was never designed for you to lead. The most scariest thing the school wants you to do, and they punish those who led, was to put them in detention. They have a problem with authority. School was never designed for you to lead. Let me say this next one, because it's gonna stir some. This one gonna get some people. Woo! Church told you to wait on God to move. Church would, let me say that again very slowly for those in the back of the room. Church told you to wait on God to move. Let me read the first part. The lie. You were programmed to follow. School taught you to wait for instructions. Church taught you to wait on God to move. Ooh, boy. You better wait on God before you move. Church was never designed for you to lead. It was always designed for you to follow. Told you to wait on God. And I believe, okay, yeah, you need to wait on God. I understand that. But if you knew where God was, if you knew where God was, you would begin to walk as God in the earth. If you knew where God was, you wouldn't be waiting on God. You'll be acting like God in the earth. This is too much. Let me make sure, because I told myself this week what I need to do. Number three, culture. Pressure you to follow trends, not the truth. If anything we see on these social media streets is everyone following the trend, and everybody cut their hair on one side and leave the other side long, you're gonna follow the trend. If they say the algorithm is accepting this, you're gonna follow that. No one's out there stepping into their truth. I remember me and Jono. It was about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I was talking to my buddy Jono, and I was between jobs and I had to stay with my mother. Everything was haywire. And I'm walking down to go to a temporary job, to get a temporary job for the day. And Jono, he was going through the things he was going through. And he said one thing to him. He said, LDA, you're going to look back and laugh at this day, but you got to step into your truth. I was like, man, I didn't want to hear that. I need money. I was hungry. You know, I think it was, I got robbed. Everything was going on. I did not want to hear that I need to step into my truth, not someone else's truth, but my truth, where I stand at, what I believe that, how I see the world. I didn't want to face that. I needed money. So pretty much Jono said, silver and gold have I not, but what I have, I give it to me much, I give unto thee. He gave me truth. I was like, man. All right. So let me read that again. School taught you to wait on instructions. Church told you to wait on God. And culture pressures you to follow trends and not the truth. Are you following the... Now, this is the thing. Trends, I understand trends are there. I don't need you to be out there looking like some kind of crazy person, but I need you to step into your truth. I was reading a lady last night. I was looking through her social media, and she said something. She had got a coaching with this particular brand manager. And the brand manager was telling the brand manager was trying to make her more masculine. Uh-oh. Let me
execute order 66.
In the brand masterclass, they were trying to make her more masculine. And she said, I didn't want to do that. I want to step into my femininity and do my own, have my brand like that. But the longer the call went with the brand master person who was pushing her to go into a certain direction, because she said, this is the way you get your brand out there. This is the way you're going to make money. This is the way you're going to do this. It was the furthest from her truth. So finally, she finished up the call and she said, you know what? I'm going to stand in my truth. I'm going to stand in my femininity and be the woman that God created me to be, and not follow the trend, but stand in my truth. Do you know what happened? When she stood in her truth, didn't follow the trends, this is what happened. The people who needed to hear her message gravitated to her. Now, if she wasn't in her authentic truth, she would have got every phony person who would have just looked at her and said, something ain't right about her. Something ain't added up. She talking good. What she's saying is good, but she's not being her authentic self. Culture will pressure you to follow the trends and not the truth. Church will pressure you, telling you to wait on God. Just wait. He'll be there. He's an on-time God. Yes, he is. Instead of telling you how to be as God, not as the God, but to walk in this earth as God. It's a completely different mind shift when you begin to do that. A man who doesn't lead himself is already owned. Let me write that, say that again.
Execute order 66.
A man who doesn't lead himself is already owned. How many of you, and I'm talking to you, are owned already and you don't even know it? A man who doesn't lead himself is already owned. You don't need nobody to tell you what to do. You already own. A man who doesn't lead himself is already owned. And how many people out there, and I'm looking, are already owned and don't even know it? Don't even know it because you can't lead yourself. Let's go to this shift right quick. Start with your morning routine. No phone. Start with this morning routine. No phones for the first 30 minutes. Give yourself order, journal, meditate, visualization. Practice silence and stillness. Hear your own voice. Lead your time, emotion, and attention. The first thing you need to lead is your time, your emotion, and your attention. Where attention goes, energy flows. So, and then two, you need to be very gangster when it comes to your time. You need to be very gangster when it comes to your emotions and your attention. You realize if you're going to go to this next level, you can give your time, your attention, and especially your emotion to just anything. One thing I've been learning, because people been talking about going over here and doing this, and I heard it last night. Shout out to, his name is Rod Perry. He said something. People be going to networks and networking events, and what's the result of going to all the networking events? You pass out your card, they give you your card, you guys talk back and forth. I mean, hey, I got your card, cool, man. All right, then you go to the next person and you get their card. I mean, after a while, you get tired of going to all these networking events. I'm tired of going to network events. How much we gonna network? But he offered a solution. He said you should be looking about building relationships and not just networking. And then we try to flip it here in Cleveland. We're gonna have the networking event, and then it's gonna be a mix. That means it's gonna be networking, and you're pretty much gonna be clubbing. It's gonna be a club at the same time. My time, my emotions, and my attentions cannot be, and it can be not be absorbed in a bunch of stuff. Because I understand that my time, my emotions, and my attention, I can easily manifest things, and I can't just give it to anything. I can't just relatively give my emotions and my attention to just anyone, especially my time. If you know anything about me, LDA, I am a stickler about time, being on time, and being. If you're gonna say you're gonna be there on time, and being on time means you're already late. Why am I saying that? If you're going to lead yourself first, you must become so strict on yourself about your time, your attention, and your emotions. Some of y'all waste too much time with people who do not deserve your time. Some of y'all are taking on other people's emotional drama and things that are going on that you need to just let go. Some of y'all giving your attention on social media to things. I caught myself. I like, you know what? I'm spinning my wheels looking at stuff on social media I shouldn't be looking at, one, and it just not giving, it's not doing anything for me. If you're going to lead correctly, start leading in your time and your attention. If you don't lead your morning, you rent. Y'all don't think they're ready for this. If you don't lead your morning, you'll rent your whole day. You will rent your whole day out. If you don't lead your morning, you will rent your whole day. How many of y'all are giving your rent away because you have not led your morning correctly? You haven't led your morning correctly. You start off already on the wrong foot because you're giving your time, your attention, and your emotion to things that don't even matter. The consequences, what happens when you don't lead, you become reactive and not strategic. When you don't lead you become reactive and not strategic. You become reactive and not strategic. Are you reacting to things that happen according to your day, or are you being strategic on what's happening during your day? I caught this even this week. Some things I'm teaching my sons is to not to react to certain things, but to be strategic. And he's in the process of moving from a stage of being in college to going into the workforce. I said, this is not the time to be reactive. This is the time to be strategic. You need to plan out your money, your day, how you're going to do your meal prep, your lifting weights. How are you going to strategically put this together instead of waiting for you don't got enough pants for work. You don't got enough shirts for work. That's being reactive. Or you didn't run out of money because you didn't got money for lunch. That's being reactive instead of being strategic on how you will handle it before it happens. Now, you can't predict everything that's going to happen, but you can be strategic and not be reactive. This next thing gonna get you. You get pulled by weak voices. The people around you, your job, and distractions. You get pulled by your nose by weak voices. You should do this. You should go over here. You should look at that. If you have not set your day, you'll be going from left, right, sideways, up and down, around the corner, because you have not led yourself first. The voices on the outside of you will lead you around. You have not led yourself first. So you get pulled by weak voices, people around you, even things from the past trying to pull you, because you have not quieted the voices inside of you and around you, and you being led by it. You perform strength on the outside, but collapse in silence. You perform strength on the outside, but collapse in the silence. You're doing all these things on the outside, but you have not taken the time to get quiet and say, what do I really need to do? A man out of alignment becomes his own enemy. A man out of alignment becomes his own enemy. A man out of alignment becomes his own enemy. Right before I set up the whole production of this, what you see here, my camera, I couldn't get this shot right. I said, I can't get this shot right. I got my lights over here. I got everything over here. And I couldn't get my camera to get the right shot in. It bothered me. So I said, hey, girlfriend, come over here. Could you align this camera to get me in the shot? So we had to move the TV over or move the monitor over. Then we had to move the camera. Then we had to adjust the tripod. Then we had to take the tripod apart. And then the time is ticking for me to start the show. But everything was out of alignment. Once we got it in alignment and she got the right shot, guess what? It no longer served as an enemy to bringing excellent production to you. What's out of alignment in your life that's become your own enemy? What's out of alignment that's in your life that's your own enemy? There's a lot of things that's become, you think it's the devil doing it, or you think it's God, and it's because you're out of alignment. You need to get back center. So the camera right now is back center to where it needs to be at. It's in alignment. That's the same thing that needs to happen with your life. And then this is why we're almost at 30 minutes. You need to command your life. No more waiting. This right here. No more waiting for a savior. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. You probably heard other people saying this. There's no one coming to save you. If you're looking for daddy to come save you, or looking for mommy to come save you, I'm looking for somebody to come save me. There's no one coming to save you. When you get that reality in your mind that there's no one coming to save you, that you have to lead yourself, you stop getting so emotional about what's going on with the government and what Trump is doing, and Elon Musk is left, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and what did Biden do and what did this one do, and you realize that there's no one coming to save you, that you have to come and you have to lead yourself. I was listening to a podcast this week about Booker T. Washington starting the school down Tuskegee. And he was talking about the plight that happened with blacks coming out of slavery and going into, now they have to be their own bosses or be their own, you got to lead their own life. They were so used to someone telling them what to do that it was hard for them, many of them, to make the transition from slavery to just managing their own life. Many of them didn't make it. Some of them decided to go to school. Some of them even decided, well, I don't want to work that hard anymore, and I'm going to learn philosophy. I'm going to learn Latin. I'm going to learn Hebrew. I'm going to learn all these things. So they can philosophize everything, but they could not cook a healthy meal for their family. Many of them had got the school education, but they didn't know how to garden, how to start a garden. And here they were, the ones who was doing the gardening and doing all the cotton picking back in slavery time. And now they don't know how to do anything. It was one sad story that was a man who was in slavery, who was a blacksmith. And as slavery went out, he had a successful business. But the sad part was this: no one in his family, and he didn't know how to train his family on how to take on what he was doing to keep the business going. So when he died, the business died, and therefore the money died. The other part of this, because they didn't know how to lead themselves, many of them did not know how to raise kids or even how to maintain a family. So when I'm talking about you need to lead yourself first or stay led forever, many of those who were slaves were so conditioned for others to lead them, they didn't even know how to raise their own children, how to maintain a healthy relationship. So when they came to big cities and migrated to big cities, they got pushed into lives of crime, robbery, things going on, because they did not know how to lead themselves. And since they didn't know how to lead themselves and actually sustain themselves, what happened? They had to get money, they had to survive. And guess what happened? Many of them did not survive. So they started looking for a savior. And one of the main things we did in the Black community, and I can say this, we started looking towards religion and not relationship to be our savior. Because we looked for something else to lead us instead of realizing that, and one great philosopher, I'm not going to say his name, stand up, and I'm paraphrasing, man, and lead yourself. Many of those in that transitional period between slavery into being free and into Jim Crow did not know how to lead themselves. And now here we are many years later, and we still see many a people who do not know how to lead themselves, how to conduct themselves, how to be, I call it, how to become self-governed. We have a lot of people who don't know how to be self-governed. They need somebody to give them instructions. Get up in the morning, all right, I get up in the morning, do this, tell me what I need to do. You cannot lead yourself. Is that you? Are you following the trends? Are you following after everyone else and you don't know how to lead yourself? What did I say? A man who doesn't lead himself is already on. Are you already on? Many of you think that you're leading yourself and not knowing that the chip inside of you is going off and you're being led by your emotions, your desires, by what your parents said, what the society says. That's the reason why some of y'all are losing in life, because you keep going against what you know you should be doing. Well, society says, I got to get this particular woman. Society says, I need to drive this particular car. Society says, I need to live here. But what is your truth? When you embrace your truth, you embrace who you are, your God-given ability to be in this world. Let me say this too. Everybody say they want to go to the gym, but I make sure, I'm going to say this for my own self. I get myself up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Take myself, walk to the gym, and I work out, run for 1.5 miles, and then walk back. I don't need nobody to lead me there. I go on my own. Who is leading you right now? Who is taking up your time? Who is taking up your attention? Who is mastering and manipulating your emotions? Who is leading you by their problems that they have in their life? Who is leading you and saying, I'm going through this and this ain't going? Who is leading you? Who is being the puppet master in your life? You need today to cut the strings off from everything that's pulling your time, your attentions, and running your emotions. Some of y'all are driven by your lower nature. Some of y'all are driven by, driven by everything around you, and you're not living in your truth. I can see it. I got both hands up. I've been there. T-shirt, got it. Stamped. But who's leading you? Who's guiding you? Well, LDA, it's hard out here for a player. It's hard out here. School has taught you to follow instructions. Church told you to wait on God. Culture pressed you to follow trends and not your truth. Who is leading you? You have to lead yourself first, and not stay being led forever. And you can always tell the characteristics. I remember back in the day going to, when I was down in Atlanta, and I would go out with my cousins, and they want to all be in the group. Yo, man, we all in the group. We went out with my cousin and his friends, and we was all in the group. I was like, I'm gonna slip over here. So I chill and post up at the bar, like, yeah, see what's going on. And they'll move around the club and, move around them, everybody dancing, they're moving around with everybody else. I said, let me post up over here. Somehow I didn't want to be part of the crowd. I wanted to lead my own endeavors. So they going there dancing with the girls, they talking, hey, get numbers. And I said, nah. I became a sharpshooter. I sat back and just looked. I'm like, all right. I see her looking. All right, let me get her number. So at the end of the night, they're looking like, yo, man, how'd it go, man? We hardly seen you. Man, I said, I was here, man. I was chilling, posted up. You know me. I moved, I danced a little bit. They said, oh, yo, all right, LDA, all right. You getting your numbers? Yeah, I got a number. What? We didn't even see you. I refuse to be, I led myself first. I wasn't allowing anybody else to lead me. I'm choosing what I want to happen. I'm choosing my time, my attention, and my emotions. And who gets it? Is that you? Are you being led? Are you being led by what you're seeing on CNN, MSN, Fox? Everybody, you led by everything and what you're seeing on Facebook. Who's leading you? Or the next wonderful person, gifted person is coming out. Who is leading your assets? Who's leading you? If you don't know who's leading you, you're being led. If this is resonating with you, because I see everybody in the clouds today, if this is resonating with you, let me know in the chat room. Put a number 1 in the chat room. Let me see if this will work today. Who's leading you? Who's directing you? Most people don't realize the key is you have to start first in the morning to lead yourself and start your day, or you will be owned for the rest of the day. So the challenge for this week is make one bold decision without asking for permission. Make one bold decision without asking for permission. Woo. Make one bold decision without asking for permission. You got to ask this one. You got to ask that one. You got to ask that one. You got to ask this one. What you think? What you think? What you think? I understand you got to have wise counsel, but make one bold decision without asking for permission. No, make one bold decision without asking for permission. Do one hard thing that aligns with your higher self or with your divine self. So the challenge for this week is make one bold decision without asking for permission. Do one hard thing that aligns with your higher self. And then 2, you need to get behind, because we're going to create this community and join that. But this is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combines. You have the thinking class. You got something from this? Leave a comment after the video that you got something from what I talked about today. Lead yourself first or stay led forever. Stay tuned. We're going to have some more things coming up shortly. This has been good. Thank you for watching. And as we out here, I'm going to go live again, but don't be led. Don't allow people to lead you. I caught myself even yesterday. I had to pull myself back because I seen something and it led me. It was about to lead me down a road I did not want to go on. I was going to be upset. I was going to be mad. I was like, why this happened? Why this took place? Pull myself back and say, nope. Let me chill. Let me pull back and know this direction I need to go in. Don't lead yourself first and stay led forever. This is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combines. You have the thinking class, and we are out.